All right, welcome back. So we're going to cover something real fundamental and basic, but it's kind of a big deal because you'll repetitively this can add up to a lot of frustration. So we're going to create an auto load template, not necessarily a project, but an actual template. So what that means is you turn this thing on, this puppy on, and usually you're going to get some kind of project that they've already created, and then you kind of have to undo whatever that was to some extent to get to where you basically are comfortable with, which is basically a project that you define on how you personally like to work. So the way I like to do it is I like to have like nothing loaded. Maybe one key group instrument by default that's blank though. There's nothing in there. So what we're going to do is get the project. Let's say it's a tempo. Let's say 80. I'm just going to say 90. And maybe we'll just do 4 bars. Just something that you're comfortable with, where you can get started with, where there's not a whole lot of tweaking other than the fact that you're loading one sound like your first sound. All right, so what I'm going to do is go into Menu, Save As, and you're going to go and find a folder or create a folder. So you can hit New Folder right down here. I have an existing folder here, and I'm just going to save it as a template. Done. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into Preference, and we're going to go to Project Load and Save. And what we're going to do is we're going to first specify what exactly is the behavior of what a new project is. Is it going to load a template? Is it going to load what? So there's an empty project, a factory project. No, we're going to go to an auto load project. All right, and then below it's going to say user auto load file. We're going to direct it to that specific file. So we're going to go right here and select, and then below here you've got it says basically what constitutes a template. And so I'm going to just hit the magnifying glass, and I'm just going to in this case, I'm going to use as a template a blank project as well. Okay. And then you're done. So next time I go into a new project or turn it on from scratch, the MPC itself, when I go to a new project, it's going to create what I just specified, which is typically the way you like to start. Now, some people might want to start off with the drum program, and you can do that. And you save that file, and you just do the same steps. Now, when you get more specific and you want to load certain projects, let's say a song that you're working on, or let's say you're practicing, and there's a certain regimen that you do for the first month that's like more developed than this vanilla template. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to do it right now. Let's say I load okay, so I'm going to load a sound, and we'll do it this way. So it's got 2 bars. Okay, and then I have on another track, it's kind of the way you would do a song, but I'm going to load this to a new track. Because let's say I've got a practice regimen that I want to do for a week. So I don't want to recreate this every time, and I don't want to have to search for the file all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Menu, Save, Project As. I'm going to find a spot on the removable media. We're going to call it Practice. Because I could have 4 or 5 different practice templates. I'm going to call this Key Groove. Okay. And I'm going to save it right to that file, folder. Because what's going to happen is we're going to use what they call set list, so that we can pull up very specific things like this outside of the template itself. So what I mean is, so if you've got a sounds menu, like on the MPC keys, you're not going to have that if you have like an MPC Live or an MPCX. So the way to do that is there's a sounds button right here that you can put on the slide out menu. If I remember with 3.0, they don't have like a shift and a certain button to get to that sounds menu. If I remember, you don't have it, but post in the comment if you remember if they do. I don't remember if it's like shift XY or whatever. But if you hit the sounds menu, or I have a dedicated button here, and you go to set list, we're going to create a project, and we're going to go into here, and we're going to where it says test. We're going to go into here where it says practice, not test. And all I'm going to do is select this, open it up, and then select the sense that says key groove. And so every time I want to go to this template, I just click it. And it will load the things that I think was most important. So that way I don't have to recreate it every time. So this might be just for practicing 8-note grooves. And then you could have another one here that could be a song that you're working on, and another one that could be in a different key. It's really like only limited to however you think. Right here I can get back to the template that I was at, which is blank, like a blank nothing. This is nothing on here. This was that template that we just started out. But set list, bang. Now I'm back to this little thing that I want to practice, and I don't have to reset everything up. In the event, let's say I want it to be here, and I want the metronome to be 8 notes. And then you want to save this new version, right? So menu, save, say project as. I recommend saying project as. You go to practice, save it overwrite, and now if I go to sounds, so if I go to sounds now and I load this practice groove, it's going to save all those settings, like the metronome being an 1/8 inch, not 1/8 inch, but 1/8. Should at least. All right. So that's just a general idea of what you can actually do when it comes to actually your templates and so forth and so on. So anyway, until next, everyone, peace out.